Hi everybody, Jon Sandler with you, visiting with new Runnin Rebel head coach Marvin Menzies. Getting to know Marvin, getting to know his philosophy about this program, his players, this city, and the future. Coach, great to see you again.
Good to be back, man.
It's all about the players.
No doubt.
And you've said it yourself, both on and off the court. What specifically, in terms of the type of kid, type of player, type of individual, both character, skill, talent, all of that stuff, what are you looking for? What are you and your staff looking for as you fill this roster?
Well, obviously a lot of different dynamics go into that answer. But I think there's a couple core things you've got to have. So obviously somebody who can help us win games. So that's kind of first and foremost. And then you start to break down the specifics that are going to build a program, from guys from winning programs, guys that have had great home training, that have been, like I say, from good stock, as my mom used to say, but have the character and the ethics that will carry them into great citizenship. I think their spirit, their ability to attack this game aggressively in terms of their passion are all going to be things that we look for, and that's there's a lot to go into finding out which kids have those things. So it's a convoluted process, but at the end of the day, you're looking for really good kids that can help us win games and take care of their business on and off the court.
Sounds like a pretty good formula. Let's talk about recruiting.
Yep.
Vegas is unique in so many ways.
Right.
And recruiting to Las Vegas has to be different, has to be unique compared to all the other places you've been. Mm-hmm. How much is Vegas an advantage? How do you sell Vegas? Is it part of that process?
I think it is for obvious reasons of what Vegas brings to a family, to what they bring to the ability to go somewhere and grow and develop as a young man turning into a man. We have all the components, we being Las Vegas, and UNLV has all the components and the support that will enable a young man to make that journey the right way. And probably the most important piece out of that is the people. I mean, the people in Vegas are fantastic. I mentioned earlier in the earlier segment when we talked about why this is one of my dream jobs, and one of the reasons was obviously the people that we encountered when we were here. Those are the same people. There's a lot of people born and raised in Vegas, and those folks haven't gone anywhere. And I think that their level of passion for the university and their support just trickles right down to the players.
Well, let's get into a topic that I think is near and dear to the hearts of all Rebel fans, and that's style of play.
Right. You think they might be?
Yeah, you hear about it occasionally. I mean, the name the Runnin' Rebels certainly has prominence and certainly means a lot to folks around here.
Right.
What do you envision? What is your plan? What can fans expect to see from your teams on the court at both ends?
Well, winning. I mean, I think that's first and foremost. You have to win games to keep them engaged, but you also got to give them a certain style of play. The city requires it, demands it, and if you don't, then I'm going to be running, but I'll be running out of here if we don't get it done. So, but I do think that has to be done the right way in terms of having some organized confusion, so to speak. The type of play that we're going to have is going to put pressure offensively on teams, and then defensively we want to cause some turnovers and do some things in full court pressure. When I was with Rick Pitino at Louisville, it was a blueprint for how kind of I want to play here. Obviously I've tweaked some things with things I've picked up from Coach Fisher and Coach Kruger and Coach Bibby when I was at USC with him, who was a great in-game adjustment guy. And so I think a culmination of that experience would lend to how we're going to play here. We're going to play fast, but we're going to play smart. I don't want to come down and just jack up shots with no offensive rebounding possibilities and with guys taking me shots, and heat checks. I didn't know what a heat check was until a few years back. One of my guys took up a shot, and it was a horrible contested three-pointer. And I said, "What are you doing, man?" He says, "Coach, it was a heat check. It was a heat check." I said, heat check? Well, he just made 3 or 4 in a row, so he was just checking to see if he was hot. Yeah, we won't have heat checks in the program. Needless to say, we're going to focus on high percentage shots. And sharing the ball and doing the things the right way to play together that I think fans want to see. They want to see team basketball, but they want to see it at a high velocity, you know, something exciting and fun to watch. So we'll put that kind of system in. I think it'll be conducive to winning and pleasing the fan base.
Last question for this segment. You talk about family a lot, not just family from a personal standpoint,
right?
But from your team and your program. Everybody from yourself as the head coach, all the way down to the managers,
right?
Administrative people, radio guy, everybody else.
No question.
Being part of that family. Talk about the importance of that. Talk about how that leads to a better chance for success in the long run.
Well, if you don't have family, you really don't have a chance for success. There's a lot of coaches, and no knock on those guys, who use that word very lightly and say, we've got a great family atmosphere, we got this and that, and so on and so forth. But I don't know if it's truly a recruiting pitch and a sales pitch as much as it is ingrained into their true philosophical approach to how they want to run their program. Right. It is for me, like for real. Yeah, for real. You can ask and call any guy that I've worked with in my entire tenure, and they will let you know, no, Coach means it. I've got former players that were so excited that I got this job. You would have thought they were hired as a new coach. We've got. I think we've done things the right way. That was all instilled in me, obviously, years and years before I even became a coach. With having 3 brothers and living with my mom and dad, and just how we didn't have a big house, 1,500, 1,600 square feet or something like that. But that was an environment where you better figure it out, and to have an enjoyable life, you needed to collaborate, and you needed to be able to put closure to conflict and things of that nature. And I think that all comes from my mom and dad, and I'm just trying to carry it on. And I feel like if I can instill that, and it's not always instilling it. A lot of time it's recruiting that way, and just complimenting what somebody else has already done. Sure. It might be if you could picture a relay race and the mom and dad have run the first 3 legs. I'm going to take that baton and try to finish strong, at least with my section of the journey in the race. So that's kind of how I view it, and I think that family-based approach is necessary.
Coach, well said. That's our second visit with new Runnin Rebel head coach Marvin Menzies. We've got a third one coming up. We'll get a little bit more into his vision for this program, maybe a longer view and some of the things that he's doing right now, including his coaching staff. Talk about that in our next segment. Thanks for being with us.